get so much hate from Arabs, and they blame the Jews in Israel for decades. Almost all Muslim countries have fought together. Then in Palestine, the war between Iraq and Iran, 1 million dead. The war in Syria, 500,000 dead and counting. In Yemen, Sudan, millions have died. Lebanon, Libya, Pakistan, of the 50% to non-Muslims. In many ways, the Muslim world today is where the Christian world was 400 years ago. Think about it. There are millions of dedicated Catholics, and there are millions of Protestants. 400 years ago, they were killing each other. Today, even though they still believe in different things, Protestants and Catholics have stopped using violence. This is not the case in the Muslim world. The hate at the fact that individual freedom takes center stage. In the US, you can stand in the middle of the street and shout that you hate Jesus. You can stand in the middle of the street in Israel and shout that you hate God. You can also do it in a Muslim country, but it will be the last thing to ever do. The left does.
Stay alert. Can be through here. I know it. I'm going to swat down a couple of bothersome flies.
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's the situation, Snake?
Looks like the elevator in the back is the only way up.
Just as I expected. You'll have to take the elevator to the surface. But when you want to use the codec, push the select button. When we need to contact you, the codec will beep. When you hear that noise, press the select button. The codec's receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear it.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready to go.
Snake, don't forget this is a covert operation. There are lots of bad guys and only one. First, go to the elevator in the back. Take it up to the ground.
Oh. Just have to find out.
What was that?
Oh my god.
It's Snake. I'm in front of the disposal facility.
Excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
How's that sneaking suit working out?
I'm nice and dry, but it's a little hard to move.
Bear with it. It's designed to prevent hypothermia. This is Alaska, you know.
Take it easy, I'm grateful. If it weren't for your suit and your shot, I would have turned into a popsicle out there.
An anti-freezing peptide, Snake. All of the genome soldiers in this exercise are using it.
I see. I'm relieved to hear that. Already tested, huh? By the way, how's the diversionary operation going?
2 F-16s just took off from Galena and are headed your way. The terrorist radar should have already picked them up.
Behind D. Colonel, what's a Russian gunship doing here?
I have no idea. But it looks like our little diversion got their attention. Now's your best chance to slip in unnoticed. There are only 18 hours left until their deadline. You've got to hurry.
Wow, you must be crazy to fly a hind in this kind of weather.
Who's that?
Oh, sorry. I haven't introduced you to yet. This is Mei Ling. She was assigned to us as our visual and data processing specialist. She designed your codec, as well as your Soliton radar system. Contact her if you have any questions about either of them.
Nice to meet you, Snake. It's an honor to speak to a living legend like yourself. What's wrong?
Nothing. I just didn't expect a world-class designer of military technology to be so cute.
You're just flattering me.
No, I'm serious. Well, I know I won't be bored for the next 18 hours.
Come on. I can't believe I'm being hit on by the famous Solid Snake. But I'm surprised. You're very frank for a trained killer.
Looks like we both have a lot to learn about each other.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to learning about the man behind the legend. But first, let me explain about your Soliton radar system. The bright dot in the middle is you, Snake. The red dots are your enemies, and the blue cone shape represents their field of vision. Be careful, Snake. The genome soldiers have highly developed senses of hearing and vision due to their gene therapy. Make sure you don't let them see you.
First, I want you to infiltrate the disposal site and look for the DARPA chief.
The DARPA chief was injected with the same GPS transmitting nanomachines as you. He should appear on your radar as a green dot.
Get whatever information you can from him about the terrorists. If he's alive, that is.
Snake, your radar isn't affected by the weather, but if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it.
Yes, it gets jammed easily, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it in an area with strong harmonic resonance, so be careful.
We'll be monitoring your movements by radar, so contact us by codec anytime you want.
Got it. I'll call if I'm feeling lonely.
Seriously, Snake, we're here to back you up, so call if you need some information or advice. I'm also in charge of your mission data. Contact me if you want me to record your current status. My frequency is 140.96. It's a dedicated frequency for saving data. Don't forget it.
Remember, except for your binoculars, you're naked. You need to arm yourself with whatever weapons you can find.
I remember. First, I'm strip searched by Dr. Naomi here, and then all my weapons are taken away. Imagine yourself put in that position.
Well, if you make it back in one piece, maybe I'll let you do a strip search on me.
I'll hold you to that, Doctor. By the way, sorry to disappoint you, but I did manage to smuggle out my smokes.
How did you do that?
In my stomach. Thanks to the shot you gave me that suppressed my stomach acids.
Cigarettes? How are those going to help you?
You never know.
If you want to get in, there's the front door. It's the fastest way, but there's too much risk of being spotted by the enemy.
I can't just knock on the door.
This argument was a series. Maps, and we see these maps right now. They supposedly show us that through the years, Israel is grabbing more and more land from the Palestinians. So this is the first episode in our supplementary series trying to shed some light in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And the question we will discuss today is, has Israel actually stolen Palestinian land? And our vehicle for answering this question will be this very famous, I would call it, meme. But it's not just a meme, because this series of maps has appeared.
I need to tell you something. You've been in a coma for quite some time.
9 years back, your private army came under attack by Cypher.
You should be dead. But you're not. Your enemies are everywhere. We must utter your appearance immediately.
The whole world wants you dead. What about him?
I've named another Snake. He'll be your face on the world stage until the time comes for your resurgence.
Was some fancy shit.
That was some fancy shit. He's experienced all your missions on record and shares all your knowledge and experience to make you believe that he's the one true big boss. It's a hell of a line.
Osama's son, Youssef, knows Hamas better than anybody else. He spent many years in Israeli jails because of his links to the terror group. Those links could hardly be more direct. His father, Sheikh Hassan Youssef, was one of Hamas's founding leaders. Mossad ultimately flipped on Hamas while in Israeli custody. He spied for Israel. His intelligence is said to have prevented suicide bombings and other attacks. He's now an American citizen after claiming asylum and a converted Christian. He's watching events in Gaza with barely concealed fury from his now undisclosed location. And is a chilling warning for Palestinians. This interview we recorded earlier. And I'm joined now by Mossab Hassan Youssef. Mossab, great to see you. It's an extraordinary story, yours. You were the eldest son of a man who was one of the co-founders of Hamas. And indeed, for your early formative years, you worked alongside your father. So you've got a great insight into Hamas. Tell me this from the start. What were the intended plans for Hamas when it was founded, when it started, when it developed? What was the plan?
You know, since its establishment, Hamas has one goal in mind, which is annihilating the state of Israel. Like the best, let's say, compromise that they could do is having a truce for 15 years, a ceasefire for 15 years as maximum, you know, but with no guarantee how they will act after. It's absurd. It's not a secret that Hamas, once they cannot accept Israel or accept Israel's right to exist.
What was the point that you decided to get out of there, to flee this world, this environment you've been brought up in?
You know, I have many reasons. Since I was a child, I asked my father many questions about Hamas delusions, about their brutality, about their abuse of power. And always he justified, you know, their position. Then I was imprisoned with Hamas. I spent about 27 months in Israeli prisons where Hamas was torturing their own members, our own people within Israeli prisons. They killed actually and tortured hundreds of prisoners. And this is when I start asking myself the question, what if Hamas become the ruler at some point? What will they do to our people? And many years later, Hamas became the ruler of Gaza. And I wasn't surprised by their brutality.
When you heard what happened on October the 7th, what was your feeling about that?
Look, as I told you, I'm not surprised by Hamas brutality, but I was surprised by the scale of their attack. You know, not to this degree, wiping out entire communities, you know, messing with a nuclear power, the most powerful country in the region, a country with a trauma, great trauma from the past, with a memory of a Holocaust and all the Nazis did in the past century. They opened the gates of hell on the Palestinian people. This is how irresponsible this group people are. You know, that they are willing to actually sacrifice many Palestinian children, the entire Palestinian people, and use them as a fuel to just achieve their ideological agendas, their religious agendas. They are careless. They don't care for the human life. We have to separate between what's so-called Palestinian cause and Hamas cause. Hamas cause is a sick one. It's coming from the pit of hell, you know, and they need to be removed from power. This is my message. As an ex-Hamas member, as a son of one of Hamas founders, that enough of this. If we don't stop them now, the next war is going to be deadlier. And only God knows what will happen next if Hamas is founders, that enough.
Yeah, the Jerusalem was taken أخذوها من أهله. القدس اتأخذت
مين من فلسطين؟ القدس اتخذت من الفلسطينية؟
اتأخذت من أهل فلسطين.
من أهل فلسطين. طيب سؤالي لك. I have a question. You said that Jerusalem was taken from the Palestinians. From the Palestinians. Really simple question. Jerusalem was reunited for Israel in 1967. Now my question to you, yes, in 1967. From 48 to 67. From 48 to 67. Who controlled Jerusalem? Israel only started to control Jerusalem from 67. From 48 to 67. Who controlled Jerusalem?
I don't know, but it was international. It was not.
Jordan. Jordan.
Illegally.
In Jordan. I have a question. If Jordan controlled Jerusalem and the West Bank from 48 to 67, and Egypt controlled Gaza from 48 to 67, why, in God's help, why Jordan didn't give this land to Palestine? Why Egypt didn't give Gaza to Palestine? Why from 48 to 67, the countries who controlled it? That's interesting. But it's good.
Well, folks, we begin with some terrible breaking news today. A massacre has now occurred in Maine. The gunman, we don't mention the name of the mass shooters on the show, but the gunman had been committed to a mental hospital after hearing voices, apparently, and then he was set free. So once again, we have a situation with a mass shooting where presumably law-abiding gun owners will now be blamed. There will be an attempt, widespread attempt by members of the media, by members of our political class to take guns away from the law-abiding because they didn't take a gun away from somebody who literally. Well, folks, our universities and entertainment industry have been completely overrun by some of the worst people in America. Joining us on the line to discuss it is Jeff Rabhan. He's former chairman of the Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music at New York University, and he's worked in virtually all areas of the music and entertainment industry. The reason we're having Jeff on today is, of course, because of his work at NYU and the problems that Jews are having on campus with anti-Semitism. Jeff, thanks so much for joining the show. I really appreciate it.
Snake, your mission is to infiltrate, not to fight. Don't let the enemy see you. You didn't waste any time in getting spotted, did you? Too bad. Looks like your cover is blown. Proceed with extreme caution. First, you've got to rescue the DARPA chief. Infiltrate the building in front. Look for some way to get in.
What is it, Snake? Snake, remember what the Gauls said. The graveyards are full of indispensable men. Snake, you're all alone and surrounded by bad guys. Try to be careful and avoid getting into a fight whenever you can.
You're right. Wow, you know all sorts of great quotes, don't you?
Well, both my parents are from Guangdong, China. But I was born and raised in America. I've always liked reading literature from both sides. Kinda keeps me in touch. I'll share some more quotes with you if you like.
I'm looking forward to it. But to tell you the truth, I'd like to learn more about you.
Well, I'll think about it. You caught Snake? Be careful.
That base must have some kind of ventilation system to recirculate the air. There should be air ducts around there somewhere. They must need a lot of power to run the base. There's probably a diesel generator somewhere. And since generating electricity requires oxygen, there must be exhaust openings for that too. You're not gonna believe this, but they shot down the F-16s we were using as a diversion with a Hind D. Then we got a message from Liquid. He said if we try something like that again, he'll launch the nuke. Snake, hurry up and get in there. That Hind will be coming back soon.